What up YouTube, it's your boy ProfessorStix and I'm back again with another Call of Duty Warzone video. Today we're going to be comparing the Modern Warfare MP5 and the Cold War MP5. We'll be comparing these stats, looking at the best attachments, and we'll be looking at the recoil pattern. Let's find out which MP5 is the best in Warzone. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make Warzone tips and tricks videos and I compare the best weapons in Warzone so you can rise to the top. Let's get into it. Now when we're looking at the weapon stats, the Modern Warfare MP5 has an ADS speed of 200 milliseconds. The Cold War also has the same thing, coming in at 200 milliseconds. The movement speed for the Modern Warfare MP5 is 4.98 meters per second, and the Cold War also has a movement speed of 4.95 meters per second. When we're looking at the reload speed, the Modern Warfare is a bit slower, coming in at 2.79 seconds, and the Cold War comes in at 2.48 seconds. The rate of fire for the Modern Warfare MP5 is 798 rounds per minute, and the Cold War MP5 has a rate of fire of 854 rounds per minute. So you can see here that they are pretty much the exact same. The Cold War MP5 does have a slight advantage when it comes to reload speed and rate of fire, which affects its TTK and its viability when using it in gunfights in Warzone. So let's jump into the damage profile and see which MP5 has the edge. When we're looking at the damage profile, the Modern Warfare MP5 does 49 damage to the head, which means it's going to take 6 shots to down a fully armored opponent. When it comes to the Cold War version, the MP5 does 47 damage to the head, which means it's going to take 6 shots to down a fully armored opponent. When looking at the Modern Warfare version, the MP5 is going to do 34 damage to the chest, which means it's going to take 8 shots to down a fully armored opponent, and the Cold War version is going to do 33 damage to the chest, which means it's also going to take 8 shots to down a fully armored opponent. Now both of these MP5s have a damage fall off at around 9 meters. Now let's take a look at the time to kill and see which MP5 comes out on top. If you're hitting all of your headshots, the Modern Warfare MP5 is going to down a fully armored opponent in 376 milliseconds. If you're hitting all of your chest shots, it's going to down a fully armored opponent in 526 milliseconds. The Cold War version is going to down a fully armored opponent in 351 milliseconds if you're hitting all of your headshots, and if you hit all of your chest shots, you're going to down a fully armored opponent in 492 milliseconds. So again, pretty comparable on both sides. Now this is where things get interesting, because if you hit 1, 2, or 3 headshots, you are going to down a fully armored opponent in 7 shots, and that's going to be a time to kill of 451 milliseconds, which is very good in Warzone. But on the Cold War side, if you hit 1 headshot, your time to kill is still going to be 492 milliseconds. You have to hit at least 2 or 3 headshots to bring your time to kill to 422 milliseconds with a 7-shot kill. So it looks like the Modern Warfare version is a little bit more efficient with those headshots, whereas with the Cold War version, you need to hit 2 to 3 more headshots to bring that time to kill down to a sub 400. The Cold War MP5 does have a slight advantage because you have a bigger magazine and a bigger rate of fire, which means you're going to be able to do more damage per second. All right, let's jump into the recoil pattern and compare the two. When it comes to the recoil pattern, the Modern Warfare version is on the left and the Cold War is on the right. The Modern Warfare MP5 does have some vertical recoil, but not a lot, and it doesn't have a lot of horizontal recoil either, which gives it a pretty tight spread. You can see for the Cold War version, it's just pretty much straight up vertical recoil, no horizontal recoil, but you can see that there's a lot of spread between the bullet impact. And with the Cold War MP5, it stops after about 15 bullets. It just doesn't move anymore. So people are kind of thrown off by that recoil pattern because it's very vertical. It's different from the Modern Warfare version that we have grown so accustomed to. You'll find that some players lean more to the Modern Warfare version because they're familiar with it. But if you can get used to the Cold War version, you might have some benefits over the Modern Warfare version simply because of that bigger magazine and that faster rate of fire. Now, when we're looking at the situational use, the Modern Warfare MP5 is a beast of an SMG. I mean, it dominated Warzone's close quarter combat for 7 seasons. It's excellent at hip firing. The recoil pattern is very manageable, making it an excellent weapon for clearing out buildings. The Cold War MP5 is a bit different. You want to build it for speed. With the higher rate of fire and the attachments that make the MP5's movement much better than the Modern Warfare version, you'll find yourself using this MP5 to get in and out of fights quickly. Let's jump into the attachments. All right, so for the Modern Warfare MP5, the famous build, you're going to want to go with the monolithic integral suppressor, the 5 milliwatt laser, the Merc foregrip, 45 round mag, and then the last one is really up to you. You can either go with a sleight of hand, you could put a rare grip, or you can put a stock stock. For the Cold War MP5, you're going to want to go with the agency suppressor. With the season 2 update, they have made the task force barrel give you strafe speed, so that's going to increase your movement speed while ADSing. You want to pair that up with the Raider stock, which is further going to increase your movement speed while you're ADSing. And then you want to put the field agent grip and the 50 round drum mag. In conclusion, the Modern Warfare MP5 and the Cold War MP5 are both amazing. Familiarity will draw me to the Modern Warfare MP5 because I'm used to the recoil pattern and the nature of the weapon being for hip firing. They are interchangeable and are both viable in Warzone, even with the current meta. The Cold War MP5, which has a bigger magazine and an increased rate of fire, does give it a slight edge, but at the end of the day, they're both very good, so it's pretty much a personal preference. Let me know down in the comments below which MP5 you like best. Let's just hope the next Call of Duty integration doesn't have another MP5, because that's going to make things really confusing. All right, guys, that's it for me. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can find your way back for more Call of Duty content. Also, I am streaming over on Twitch. I will link to that in the description below. Make sure you drop into Verdansk and continue to frag out. Peace.